Galactic Legends still are the most important units in the game, despite what my recent videos might have told you. Galactic Legends simply aren't as powerful as they ought to be, and it's not because maybe they are or are not the best units on the field when it comes to PvP environments. I think we've proven that to be objectively false. It is, however, around the overall benefit that they do provide to your account. So the question that gets asked quite a lot is, alright, I get that, Scribe, but which Galactic Legend should I farm first, really? And the answer might surprise you. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen of the tribe, to another Galaxy of Heroes video with me, your bald boy Scribe. How the devil are we doing? Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all well. So, we saw this in a video I did a couple of days ago. I faced off against Mitch over here at the top end of Kyber 2 / proceeding into Kyber 1, and I set a defensive board over here with 10 Galactic Legends, every single Galactic Legend on defense, and the only one that managed to get a hold was Ray with Cat and the Raycron, and I came to the conclusion that Galactic Legends are just garbage. Now, obviously, I'm being facetious here. They are not garbage. They are still very, very good units. But the value that Galactic Legends bring is not entirely restricted to just Grand Arena. Yes, they are fantastic PvP characters. Some are better on offense, some are better on defense, some are just used to take out things that are not Galactic Legends, which is a completely separate kettle of fish. But they still absolutely bring value. And when you start farming up Galactic Legends, you do have to try and consider, as all things in this game, which Galactic Legends you should farm and why. The answer that will surprise a lot of you perhaps is that farming the Galactic Legends might not actually be the best thing for your roster. They are expensive to get, and I don't mean that in terms of cash, I just mean that in terms of time invested and gear invested, and sometimes they do not bring that value to your account. For example, right now, Sith Eternal Emperor is a very easy, low-hanging fruit Galactic Legend to try and get, but in the current meta, what can he do? He can take out a couple of B-tier teams, and within a right setup, he can take on some of the Galactic Legends to a relative level of success rate, right? However, he doesn't come in with an economy event, he doesn't give you any value in the raid, he doesn't have any sort of real use within TB. There are a couple of combat missions throughout the entirety where he can do some stuff. He's just not an ideal candidate. And when you look at some of the requirements that he has, obviously they're easy to get, but do they have a lot of place in the current game? Palpatine, for example, can go in a Darth Vader dual Zen team. Vader, not right now, but with a future Datacron. Royal Guard can go in this Palpatine team, he's not ideal. Piet is obviously useful for the Executor. Krennic is still garbage. Sidious is garbage right now, as well as Darth Maul, but they do eventually go into the Darth Jar Jar team. Count Dooku is just a requirement, let's face it, for another Galactic Legend, so you need him at Relicate. Sith Marauder is part of the Leviathan fleet. The Imperial TIE Bomber is part of a half-dead fleet. Jedi Knight Anakin is just a requirement. Yes, you can go in certain teams. Thrawn, another requirement. Moff Tarkin, need him in the raid. It's like they and Veers and Stark, Imperial Troopers are not what they used to be. So the point I'm trying to make is you could take a look at these Galactic Legends and they would not necessarily be the best bang for your buck. The funny thing is, and the thing that I try to put forward to people a lot of the times, is that what you really should be doing, in my opinion, in Galaxy of Heroes, when you are building out your roster, is to think about, how do I build out my roster in a way that will enable me to build the rest of my roster in a more efficient and quick manner? All right? And all honesty, the answer is almost never get your Galactic Legends. Okay, these farms take too long. They do give you a benefit to a certain degree within GAC, but we've already shown you do not need any Galactic Legends in order to win. You'll do just as well by getting Conquest units, by getting Journey Guide units, and by getting Datacrons and modding and all that sort of stuff that can still perform perfectly acceptably on offense. So, in my opinion, when you take a look at Galactic Legends, you should really be considering how good they are in PvP, yes, but what else do they bring to your roster? Right now, I think that there is actually only one Galactic Legend that is unequivocally the best Galactic Legend you should be having in your account, and it's Pirate King Hondo, and that's not up for debate. It's not, I'm sorry, you can disagree with me. See, even Hondo, he laughs at you. He thinks you have no argument when it comes to which galactic legend is greater than I, the Pirate King. Pirate King Hondo is phenomenal. Okay, he's a solid galactic legend. Yes, he can be beat by non-galactic legend counters. Newsflash, so can every galactic legend. He does very well on offense. He does very, very well in TB. He has got the best economy event in this game in terms of modding. With Smuggler's Run 3, it is phenomenal. And he, of course, can get 3.6 million score in the raid with just him and OG Hondo. He ticks off essentially every single box that you want from a unit. Fantastic economy event. Great in PvE. Great in PvP. Yes, he is one of the most expensive galactic legends. The only person I think who's more expensive in terms of investment is actually going to be the new Beskar armor, Mando and Grogu, right? Because there's a lot of high levels of relics and they're brand new units. The good thing about this guy is that all of these pirate characters, Captain Athano, you've got Quiggold Kix, you've got Brutus Fane, you've got Silvo over here, all of these characters are about to go into light speed tokens, so you will be able to farm them just by going into shipments, going into era shipments and purchasing the Erodium light speed tokens. Now, right now, they're not available, but they are due to be pushed. Probably at the end of this era, which is going to be in, 2 months' time? And that will enable you to sort of jumpstart your farm for Pirate King Hondo to make it so much easier. When we look at the other units, what have we got? Veteran Smuggler Chewbacca at Relic 7. He's a really easy farm to get, and he's also required for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. Ezra Bridger, we've had free Journey Quest tokens that immediately takes him to Relic 1, so you can just take him up 5 Relic levels. That's relatively easy. If you were to use, say, well, let's make an assumption now that Darth Jar Jar is about to drop. He's going to have 5 Lightspeed tokens. You could probably get Ithano, Quiggold, Kix, Brutus, and Vane to Relic 6, 7 stars with those Lightspeed tokens just from getting Darth Jar Jar to 5 stars. I'm almost certain that's going to be the case. Hondo Ohnaka at Relic 9 is obviously a big level of investment, and so is units like General Skywalker at Relic 9 and General Kenobi at Relic 9. That, you know, I'm not going to pretend like that's not a big heavy hit to your account, right? It is a big heavy hit to your account because that 3 Relic 9s out the rip is expensive, okay? Gas at Relic 9 is actually a really solid Relic 9. GK is okay at Relic 9. He is still a pretty decent tank for the characters like Jedi Master Kenobi and for things like Keller and Beck, if you were going to throw him in there with, you know, I don't know, whatever you happen to be thrown in TWB with Juhani and stuff like that. So yes, they're very expensive. Hondo is fine in my opinion. OG Hondo is still a really good 5th for the GL team, and like I said, put him with an R9 Pirate King Hondo inside of your team, you'll be able to get 3.6 million as duo. I've got a video on that if anybody wants to watch it. I've got videos on all my raid teams that help you really max out your score there. So it's almost like this is not a bad investment. Now, Captain Athano himself is pretty decent in terms of attacking. The only downside I feel right now to farming Pirate King Hondo is a lot of the pirates that you farm, Ithano, Kix, no, it's just Ithano and Kix, is it? Captain Ithano, Kix, and Quiggold. Sorry, Quiggold. Those characters only really shine if you've also got Mars, who is a conquest unit, and not everybody has Mars. Now, on my free-to-play alt account, that's about a year and 3/4 old at this point, nearly. It's past 4 million GP, and we've got all of the Proving Grounds on Sim right now, every single one of them, but that's still going to take a long time for me to get Mars. They do have some use. You can still use them in the current raid as it stands right now, and I fully expect this current raid to probably be still here for the end of the year. There's been no announcement so far out of a new raid coming to the game, apart from the fact that we know they're working on one. All right, they haven't said new raid is coming in 3 months. They haven't, you know, so I feel like you've at least got another 4 or 5 months before we see a new raid drop to the game. January is not typically a big content push month for CG because they have that big gap period over December/January where they are off work. Can't see them just dropping a raid and leaving. They might do, of course, but I doubt it, right? So those other pirates, Ithano, Quiggold, and Kix, they only really shine when you've got Mars. You know, you can do an Ithano lead, it's not very good. It's not very good. And then you're missing additional pirates to round out that team fully effectively. Pirate King Hondo himself does benefit from SME or SM33, another conquest unit, but you really don't need him. He's great when you go into territory wars, you've got the extra Omicrons and stuff like that, but Pirate King Hondo does not need him, okay? So I feel like the requirements are relatively safe. Sure, Scavenger Ray at Relegate, that's kind of gross, right? But still required to a lower relic degree for GL Ray. General Skywalker, I believe, is a requirement for Lord Vader. So you are already double dipping over here. And Veteran Smuggler Chewbacca, I think, is slacker. Then you've got General Kenobi required for JMK. Chirrut is, who cares about Chirrut, right? Then you've got Count Dooku, who we already seen was a requirement for C, and then Bosk is a requirement on the Executor Squad. The only final thing that's really irritating is Ray's Millennium Falcon. Like, my alt account is farming this. It takes ages to farm fleets. I'm one refreshing it, and I still need about 150 shards. So that's a bit annoying, but I think over 2 months I'll probably be okay. Now, Pirate King Hondo, in my opinion, should be people's first Galactic Legends if you are starting out now and looking ahead. However, I do feel like if you are doing this, you need to focus on the other areas of the game first. Genuinely, the most important thing that you should be doing is sorting out your fleet. Okay? When it comes to Galaxy of Heroes, we are an economy-based game. If you can get access to your top of the fleet arena and get that 400 crystals a day, every single day, this is the most important thing, and the best thing that will help accelerate the progress in your account is being the top of here. This is way more valuable than getting a Galactic Legend to try and perform better in GAC. I know that getting Galactic Legends to perform better in GAC is more fun, right? You're like, yeah, I got myself Leia. She's great. She's probably still the best overall PvP-based Galactic Legend. She's a lot of fun, and she has a garbage economy event, but it's better than no economy event, right? It's like, yeah, you could earn yourself, if you're in Kyber 1, you could earn yourself 900 crystals for a win, right? But let's face it, if you're in Kyber 1, Leia is not the thing that is earning you 900 crystals. If you're in Kyber 1, you've got all 11 Galactic Legends and you've got 14 million GP. That's just the way the world is, right? Leia is not doing the difference here. She's not doing the difference, okay? What really is going to do the difference is getting to the top of Fleet Arena and getting that 400 crystals a day. The best way to progress your account is get to Fleet Arena. So before you even think about Galactic Legends, this is your port of call. This is more important than a Galactic Legend. It's better than any Galactic Legend, getting 400 crystals a day. That's, you know, if you're to look at the rewards that you get from Grand Arena, if we were to just go over here to, well, actually, down here to rewards, right? But I was to take us out of Kyber. Most people, you start off in Carbonite. A win is going to cost you 110 at most over an entire championship. 3 weeks, right? 3 weeks of doing championships, 9 battles. You're getting what, 990 crystals over here, and then you're getting 75, 150, 225. So you're getting like 1100 crystals, basically. That's 3 days of being first in Fleet Arena. But this took you 28 days to get. And Fleet Arena did it every single day. You could do that multiple fold. And guess what? If you get into top of Fleet Arena, you can just set that Galactic Legend ship on defense and you're probably going to win anyway. It's like, this is way more important. Fleet is way more important than getting PvP teams to perform well in GAC. It just is. It's not really a debate over here. And even then, all right, say you already are top of Fleet Arena. And I know there's a lot of arguments that people can throw out there, and I can't address every argument in a video, guys. I know people will be like, my fleet is full of Leviathans. You can climb with a 5-star exec versus 7-star Leviathans. There's a fleet shard, a fleet mafia that stops me from climbing in Fleet Arena. Reach out constantly, be annoying, climb all the time. You have to do whatever you can to try and break into that top 10, into that top 5, and get first in Fleet Arena in your payout. Speak to people in your shard. Try to get part of that. I understand that it is not straightforward and easy to just be like, I'll climb to top of Fleet Arena. There are methods. There are methods, and there are people that are always going to be difficult. But in every single account I've ever run, I've always managed to get into Fleet Arena, and I've run 5 accounts over the years. I've always managed to get to the top of Fleet Arena in one way or another. Stop giving yourself excuses and just do it. Just do it. And I know it'll take you a while to get there, but it's way more important, trust me. So let's say you are that guy, right? You are that guy, you've got to the top of Fleet Arena, you can secure it every single day, and you're like, right, I'm going to focus on my Galactic Legends. I'm like, well, are you though? Are you really going to focus on your Galactic Legends? Because the raid is here, and I know this raid is going to disappear, but this is a generalized statement now. This is a generalized statement of, if a raid is around, and you are not scoring as much as you possibly can, and you are not in a guild that is able to score as highly as possibly, you are doing something wrong. Okay, I mean, you're doing something wrong if you want to progress at the fastest pace possible and the most efficient way possible, okay? You don't have to put in a boatload of investment in order to perform well in the raid, and that is always going to be a contextual thing, right? It's always going to be contextual to think what defines doing well in the raid, all right? My 6 million free-to-play GP account, I believe, scores 6.6 million in the raid, something like that. 6.6 million. So it gets me over this threshold here. Look at that. That is a 1.5 year account, or 1.75 year account, that is able to only be 3 personal reward boxes away from the maximum amount of rewards that you can get from the raid. This gives you these Mark 3 raid tokens, gives you extra Mark 2 raid tokens, it gives you a little bit of extra, oh no, it's just Mark 2 tokens, isn't it? Mark 2, Mark 3, but also helps your guild push further and further and further. Those rewards there go into guild activity. It gives you extra access to wonderful things like aero magnifiers and impulse detectors and zimbiddles and electrium conductors on a recurring basis. Every 6 days, it does that, right? Gets you access to these better things. The other thing that is a little bit harder to quantify when it comes to having a good raid score and doing well in the raid is that if you have got a roster that performs well in the raid, other guilds that are much bigger than you, that have higher GP than you, that perform better in the raid overall, right? And they claim higher boxes, are going to look at your account and think, oh, yeah, he's only 6 million GP, but he can score 6.6 million. And when we go to the bottom of our performers over here, we've got people that are scoring less than 5 million, less than 3 million. Well, we'll take this guy on because he's going to push us up potentially to a new box, right? You're going to make yourself more attractive to better and better guilds by being able to perform in the areas of the game that guilds care about. So before you think about your first Galactic Legend, focus on your raid teams. Okay, next up, we've got TB. This is more important than having your Galactic Legends, all right? When you look into TB, have you sorted out your Sia Junda and your Jedi Knight Cal Kestis squad? It's a really easy unlock. You need to have like 5 characters at gear 12. You could lightspeed token your way to a Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, get Sia Junda up to 7 stars, Relic 7, get Jedi Knight Cal to Relic 7, maybe throw an Omicron on Whirlwind Slam if you need to, but probably don't, right? Make yourself more attractive to a guild. Every time you finish this, you get Mark 2 get currency, which is going to help you get things like your negotiator on board, helps you build out your roster quicker, helps you use those resources to put into additional gear. Have you sorted out... Sorry, wrong planet. Have you sorted out your Reaver squad? Reaver is still a fantastic PvP unit. She kills Galactic Legends. She can hold on defense, right? So have you got your Grand Inquisitor? There are Journey Guide tokens that will get you all your Inquisitors up to Relic 1. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Up to Relic 10. Relic 1, sorry. It's just take them up to Relic 5, unlock Grand Inquisitor, get him to Relic 7, get Reaver ready. Maybe you've got Marok, throw a Marok army on there. Complete this without fail. Have you sorted out your Beskar Armor Mando team? Have you got Bo-Katan Mandalore? One of her requirements, Keller and Beck, single character, get 600 score at Relic 7 in the raid. Really easy, low-hanging fruit, right? But also gets you Bo-Katan Mandalore. Fantastic PvP unit, kills Galactic Legends, also required for the unlock mission in order to get yourself onto Mandalore. What does Mandalore give you? Well, Mandalore is going to give you recurring sources of additional Chirotech, 50 over here, an additional 50 over here every 2 weeks. Same full, well, not same full, but very close to what you get for Zephyr, right? If you get this first box, that's an extra 20 Chirotech. I know Chirotech has lost a lot of its value now with Lightspeed tokens, but all this sort of thing. Your additional Mark 3 get currency, your additional Chirotech. All of that extra income is going to help build out your account better than winning a couple of extra matches in GAC. The good thing about it is by focusing on the areas that are outside of Galactic Legends, you still get to progress and perform better in GAC. Maybe not quite to the same pace, but you still get to progress and you get to build out a fun roster of really cool usable characters, whilst also giving yourself access to things that are going to help you accelerate the pace at which you grow your GP-ness, and your GP-ness gets girthier and longer, which is what everybody wants, I hear. So, I know we went about this in the roundabout manner, but the first Galactic Legend you should get is Pirate King Hondo. But you shouldn't be getting him until you have focused on other areas of the game. Now, this is obviously going to be different. It's obviously going to be different for everybody. There's going to be people in my comment section that are 4 years into the game and they've probably got 3 Galactic Legends. They're like, well, when I was playing, JML was really easy to get, or Leia was really easy to get, or Jabba was really easy to get. And these answers aren't wrong. But in terms of what brings more to your account, it's Pirate King Hondo. He might be harder to get than some, but it's him. If you're not going for Pirate King Hondo, and you want a poor man's Pirate King Hondo, you get Jabba the Hutt. Maybe then you push into characters like Glat. Glat has got a pretty decent economy event. Pretty decent, gives good at keypads, you know. Leia is really good in terms of PvP. JML is really good for conquests. You know, it's not like these characters do not have value. They all do. Every GL brings value. It's just some more than others. And I feel like when it comes to building out your roster, oftentimes there are more important things than Galactic Legends. All right, cool. I know this one was a little bit weird, a little bit rambling, a little bit mandaring, but there we go. That is the video for today, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you do hit the like button, comment down below which Galactic Legend you pulled first, and do not forget that modding your Galactic Legends is every bit as important as actually getting them unlocked, gearing them, and throwing good relics on them. So if you need to know how to mod all of your Galactic Legends, I've got a full video guide going over it right here. Go give it a check out.